Spatial orientation. How are organisms spatially related to each other? And again, we're looking at populations of organisms. This could be populations of people, it could be populations of plants, it could be many different things. But spatial orientation, you're looking at how things are organized spatially one to another. In spatial orientation, we basically have three kinds of ways of doing this. We have a clustered way, and in clustered, we get clusters of things together. If you look at these three clusters, what you see is three groups of 9 individuals, and you could call these family units, you could call them little cities, you could call them whatever you like, but you've got one unit here, one unit there, one unit there. And you can see that you've got a grouping here, you've got a grouping there, you've got a grouping over here, clustered. We could talk about random. And in a random distribution, what you find is things go all over the place. Now, I've often heard that people will find a way to try and put a pattern in this by connecting the dots. And even though you can see some stuff going this way or that way, it's really pretty random in what you've got. So we call that a random distribution. Or it could be uniform. In a uniform distribution, you see, we've got 3 rows of 6 or 6 rows of 3, but it's all the same because they're all equally spaced on this grid. So we would call that a very uniform distribution. Now let's see what these look like in nature. This is a clustered distribution. These are mustard plants. Mustard plants often grow as weed species in the winter time of the year in North Florida. And what you see is you see a cluster of them here, and then you've got a space and you got a cluster of them there. And they are a rather unique sort of thing. Eventually they're going to come in and mow the area, and when they do that, that's the end of these plants for this year. Next year you'll get some more back. But they tend to have a clustered sort of arrangement. Random. Now, you look at this. This is a great big field of wildflowers. But they're totally random. You know, the seeds have been scattered out there and they've scattered themselves and they're totally random in their orientation. If you look at these hay bale, they are totally random. They came through, they baled the hay. When they baled the hay bales dropped out of the machine and they are random. Uniform distribution says we've got uniformity in. This is a pine forest. You can see that you've got straight lines of trees and the trees go back on diagonal lines and they go back on straight lines, and they are very uniform in distribution. This is a pepper patch. And you can see that it's uniform in distribution. You got one plant after another in rows. The rows are a certain distance apart. It's totally uniform. You can measure how many things and how far apart they are. Cornfield, same thing. You can see the number of rows, you can see the number of plants per foot, and you've got a uniform distribution. So when we look at spatial orientation, we tend to organize things either by clustered, by random, or by uniform.